We're just going live to stream. Yeah, you can hear me now, and you can say no.
Okay. Okay, so good evening, Community Board members, staff, members of the public. Welcome to this Martinborough Community Board meeting. Do we want to do a karaoke or is it? No?
I don't have my, sorry, before, if I could just interrupt, the camera's pointing at the wall. Wait, here we go. Must be fixing itself.
We moved it magically.
This is such a long time.
Yeah. Thank you.
You want to do that or not? You want to do it or do you want?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want to do a karaoke?
No, that's Mel.
Mel, sorry.
Oh, they got Stefan will do it.
Maybe. That's right, we've got a volunteer.
Sorry, am I?
Stefan.
So Stefan's going to do a karaoke.
Kia ora, te marino, kia whakapapa, whanau, te moana. Te rua rangi mā tātou I te rangi nei, roha atua roha mai, tātou I a tātou katoa. That means may peace be widespread, may the sea be like brimstone, a pathway for all of us to stay. Let us show respect for each other, one another, bind us together.
Thank you.
Very appropriate.
So just a few health and safety, you know where the exits are. Converge outside or meet outside should something go wrong. You also know where the conveniences are. Yes, no, okay. This meeting will be recorded live stream into the YouTube channel for the council and also be recorded. I don't think we have any extraordinary business. Or do we? We might have some extraordinary business, but we'll give you.
Do we need to pop the line presentation as extraordinary? Yeah,
We do.
yeah. So,
So the Lions presentation will be extraordinary business, but we'll do that when we do the public submissions.
Yeah.
yeah.
I'll second that.
Do we have
We
any-
just need to move
Yeah.
to accept that we're happy to add that to the agenda.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll move that we're happy to, on the agenda, thank you.
Thanks, Mel. Second.
Pip.
Okay.
I'm Pip.
Everyone's like,
Mel's up there.
it's been a long.
Look, you two look the same. Stop it.
it's worse tonight because you've both got your hands.
Yeah.
So here, Paul.
I know.
But mine's got my name on it.
Yeah, that's true. That does say Mel. Can't read that part.
Okay. Back to order. So we don't have any, or do we have any apologies? Aidan is planning, he phoned me this morning, he's planning.
Hang on,
Yeah, he'd just be a bit late maybe, so we'll accept no apologies. But
Your apologies for being late.
Aidan, apologies for being late, of course.
Yes, we just need to move.
Can we have moved that, please?
Yep.
Seconded. Thank you. Does anybody have any conflicts of interest? Take that as a note. Does anybody have any acknowledgements or tributes?
I'd like to make an acknowledgement to Payne and Keshoff for celebrating 150th anniversary and thank them for their huge contributions to the Martinborough community in general.
Yes, well said. Okay, the next item is to look at the community board minutes from the last meeting. There'll be no discussion on the meeting notes, just a confirmation that the meeting notes are correct, or if there's any amendments to make. Do we have a mover for the? Thank you.
Second.
Seconded, thank you. So, because we have quite a few of the public participation, we'll move you into the next slot. So if I could just ask, would you have you speak, could you just come and sit in the seats next to Karen? She's usually quite nice, doesn't bite, do anything. She has been known to be sometimes, but not tonight. So if you could come and sit there when you do the your presentation, that would be great. We have a presentation that we do, don't we?
What was your minutes?
I think, Charlotte, you're first up. Just bear with me while I click through my notes to make sure that I'm seeing the right thing.
Yeah. Page 2. What's going on here?
So, yes, Charlotte, you are first. Thank you.
Hello, everybody. Hi, Mel. So I have come this evening to talk about the pump track. Because I did realise after I've had many conversations with you sort of independently to a degree, and some of you have previously been on the prior community board, so we're aware, but I realised since your new board had formed, I hadn't been and presented, and it was suggested that would be a good move. So I just wanted to come have a quick chat. I'm hopeful that there isn't anything that you don't know, but it's an opportunity for you to ask any questions. So to quickly take you from A to where we are now. Obviously, the seed of idea was formulated after the development of the Wahinga Centre Park here, as that developed, and I was involved with that, which was amazing and a great asset to the community. But it also highlighted some potential gaps of what could be available in the community. A random conversation in Considine Park one afternoon with Sue Sullivan and Pat Church is when I discovered that they actually led the Martinborough Youth Trust and had some ideas, and we nutted those ideas out, and then all landed on the fact that maybe a pump track would be a really cool project going forward. And so we started to explore what that would look like. So we've gone through all of the processes to bring together an idea, go through the processes with all of the different steps with council to achieve the space to build, which is at the south end of Considine Park by the pool. And now we've just been, for the past 18 months, I guess, 2 years, fundraising. It's a community-led project, so we always agreed with council on that it was a community-led project. There would be a couple of opportunities that we would be able to seek funding specifically through council opportunities, the youth grant being one, which we achieved, Pain Farm being the other. It's the only thing I'm going to mention about Pain Farm. And the rest would be done by the community. So the Youth Trust being a charity, having all that backing, these guys have done a lot of work in the past, because up until the point of the pump track project, they would fundraise every year and send children, a group of children or individuals, on Spirit of New Zealand adventures, those in the community that weren't able to do those sorts of experiences. With COVID, all of that was on hold anyway, so this filled the gap of a project for them, and has been doing so for the last few years. Fortunately, this year they're actually moving back into that side as well, so they will be achieving that, which was what they were formed for, as alongside the pump track, which I think is really beneficial as well. As far as where we're at right now in fundraising, we were celebrating a few weeks ago that we'd achieved halfway, but we were also very conscious in July our quote that we originally got from Byron at Trail Pro had expired on the 1st of July. Because obviously we got him down a year ago and had a quote that was valid for a year, which was incredibly generous. The fundraising is taking longer, obviously, than we had hoped. But we have just had a requote, and it's really fortunately not been pushed up too much. So although we haven't quite got the halfway mark that we had a few weeks ago, it's not crazy. So we're going with it. We've also got some really generous offers of people in the community with equipment and skills that will help us bring that cost down. So in essence, we're probably sitting about the same. And now that's all we've got to do. We are touching base with Byron, the designer, at the end of the year. We've got a couple of significant grant applications that are about to go in, because we had got to that halfway point, and we're hoping we can just wing that through still. And if we're successful with those, it would make a massive difference. And having the conversations we'll be having with local businesses will also make, now we've got our new quote, it will make that conversation a lot clearer. And we had to get a bit closer to have those conversations. But yeah, we're trucking along, and the hope at this stage is to be building in May 2024. I'm not sure I'll have the energy to go any further, so it really has to get done. We've got to move on to other exciting things. But I think after receiving the quote, seeing where we're at, seeing what we've got lined up with some things over the summer, some opportunities, business events have come to us about partnering. Hopeful that by the end of the year, we'll be really starting to look like we can tighten in a date with Byron to come down and actually lock in some specifics. So, yeah, and I guess now questions. I have sent Nikki today. So I've just sent her a wee update thing to have a look, pretty pictures. But I've also sent you, so it's about what a pump track is, if there was any, like sort of the fact it's an asphalt track with bumps and rollers and what that means for a rider. I've also sent you a link to Trail Pro, which is the design company we've selected to use. And it's their YouTube channel. So there's 4 videos on there that will give you a real sense of what it is we're going to be building, if you are unsure. And just to highlight that the track that we will be building is for not only for bikes, which a traditional pump track is for, but it's for scooters and skateboards, because we need it to be all purpose. We're only going to have one thing here, so we need it to work for real.
And they can all go together. Yeah.
Yeah, and what we did do that's slightly different from the original drawing that we use in most of our like media and publications is we have made an addition for a loop for toddlers. So there's the main loop, which will be for the bikes, scooters and skateboards, and we're probably talking, 7-8-year-olds plus on there. But then there'll be a little toddler loop that will be for those balance littlies, so they don't have to compete on a faster track. And so that's me. I think that's everything.
Can I ask a question?
You can.
Okay.
Ask away.
So May 24, that's the target. You want to have it built or started?
Built. It will take 1 month to build. They'll come in, be here for 4 weeks, and it will start and finish in a month.
Okay.
If it may be quicker, but we give it. Byron suggested a month.
How confident are you the funding will be
It has to be Storm.
there? I understand it.
Yeah.
What I'm asking is, unsure, what can we do to change that landscape? What can we do to make it safe?
Some money from the.
How much I'm not going to mention anymore.
Well, obviously, the biggest support that you guys can give is actually achieving us getting through to the answer of the Payne Farm estate situation, because we have always had that. Obviously, we've been on this project for so long. The Payne Farm estate question started July last year. And at that point, there was a suggestion of what that donation could look like that we've always had in our budget. Not confirmed, but it has been a number there that we've been just waiting for the process that I have appreciated during the time. That is still sat on our balance sheet because as yet we haven't had any indication as to yay or nay. So it's sat.
You're getting closer to do that.
So that would be a huge help, because that would make a big difference. But then that's also currently, as far as we're concerned, an unknown.
Yeah.
So we don't like to. The lotteries grant that we're putting in for would be a biggie, but obviously that's a grant that's highly contested.
How much money are we talking about? Sorry to interrupt. How much money?
We've got 124 raised.
Same kid.
But yeah. So
with your vast experience of community events, what about a community public event to raise money? Would that be a workable thing if the community?
we've got a few things in the pipeline. So some of them are little because obviously, but we've got the fireworks coming up. We're partnering with Toast, which is giving us a chunk of money as a partner. We're hoping to run the colour run event again.
Great.
Next year. It'll be simpler than we did the first time, but we've got a blueprint and we're about to just start process with that. What else have we got coming up? The thing that's made a difference in knowing that we can achieve it is the quote we've just revisited with Byron, because we've had the breakdown of how, because I've had all these offers by local businesses of how they can help, but in a non-monetary way. I now have a very clear picture of what I can go and talk to this group of people with we've got an asphalt contractor that's offered to help. You know, to save Byron doing his quote, the difference that could make, and we won't know, but the conversations we can have in the next 2 months now with quite a clear quantities and what we're needing will mean that we could actually pull back quite a lot of cost. So,
and that's, insofar as that's concerned, feel free to use us.
yeah, okay.
Community board
Yeah.
to help you with any discussions.
Yeah,
And
okay.
also, because we're coming up to our slightly big tourist season,
Yes.
maybe need to stick our hand in other people's pockets if we can to.
Yeah. It's like, you know, you sort of, I sit down often with these events in mind and you think of, you know, if you look at the numbers of Toast and you look at the numbers of the fair and you think if everybody put an extra $1,
Yeah.
you know, it wouldn't take much.
Yeah.
It really doesn't take much. But if everybody understood that an extra $1 would make a big difference collectively when you've got 10,000 people coming into town, you know,
Yeah, no, I
big chunks of money, but it's how to pitch that. Yeah, but you know, we'll keep going. It is the height of season, so we're sort of a lot of people now with this close have come to us. So I think there's a lot of will.
It's good to hear.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so, but yeah, we will get there.
Okay. Okay, Charlotte, thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Pleasure.
Anybody else have any questions before Charlotte goes away?
No.
No?
That's awesome. Thank you, Charlotte.
Charlotte. So now we'll call on Max.
Yes.
You're welcome to have a support person here to hold you if you need.
I have, I've got
Sorry,
Chris, our chair.
We don't quite.
She's pretty good at holding hands.
Okay.
I'd just like to thank you for allowing us to apply for funds since the council refused us. And I have noticed, looking at the website, that they've also haven't issued any grants to the other 3 museums in our district. That's the Phil, the Heritage and Cobblestones this year. And historically, they've done this for many years. So I'd just like to express my disappointment there. And I realise that finances are tight and things are pressing, but the 4 museums in our district do serve a good cultural and educational function, and I think they're well worthy of getting some small grants which help the operation of these small museums. Our museum's been going for about 46 years, which is a long time, and I don't know how many of you have visited our museum, but it's well worthy of a visit. We've recently we've got a secure room that was built after the centennial in 82, and we use that for our artifacts and more precious displays. And we spent about 19,000. We had Brigg Shokey make up new display cabinets for us, more and some more storage drawers, and so we can be more professional in how we display our artifacts and memorabilia. So at the moment we've got 28 volunteers that are on a roster system to keep the museum open during the weekends, and then over Christmas we keep it open for just about during the holiday period. Our income and those visitor numbers, 2,300 is back up to where it was pre-COVID. And we roughly get about $2 a visitor. Some visitors don't give us any donation, and others are more generous and may give us quite a bit more. So our income is about 4,200 from our visitors. And then we've done fundraising to raise the money for the likes of the cabinets. We put on a film evening, which was very successful at the cinema. And we also helped cater for the garden tour. And so we were able to raise quite a lot of money to pay for those cabinets. We sort of relied on the 2,000, which council has been giving us for many years as an operational grant to help cover cleaning costs, insurance, and things like that. So it's not going to close us down or anything, but you know, the 2,000 has helped, and it's been normally given at a LTP year, long-term plan year. So we know we are getting that 2,000 every year for the 3 years. So we don't have to apply every year, which is quite good. And I know the community board hasn't got a lot of funds to issue, and hence my disappointment because I think the 4 museums in our district, they complement each other. We don't do things that Cobblestone do, and they don't do things that we do. There is a bit of a lap over with some of this, but it's not significant. And we provide a place for visitors to come and have a look at, and also our locals. Have you got anything to add?
Yeah, I mean, we're part of that, what now is a fabulous square where there's so much happening on every corner of the square, and we're, you know, very lucky to have a central point there. So we really do, you know, we get a lot of overseas visitors and visitors from out of town. So we are serving an entertainment purpose, if you like, as well, which I think is important, as well as our cultural and heritage preservation thing. I would say over the last few years, we've been working really hard to make the museum attractive physically, because it had got a bit overcrowded and things. And our future aspiration really is to start outreaching into the community more. The history program for schools, we've got an oral history project. We're doing oral histories of people around the town. So we've got lots of ideas, and some of them take money. So that's
Okay.
Is there any questions?
I've got a question, mate. I'm just not sure in my mind. You mentioned there that you are looking for ongoing contributions, but this reads to me like one only. Is it?
No, it says on it multi-year.
Is it multi-year?
It's been ticked, yeah. But I just saw that it's ticked.
One of the things that
It's multi-year.
I'd like to do.
Sorry, I didn't see
Yeah,
that.
it's got.
Yeah, one of mine is without.
Okay, so no, sorry, that was.
We will continue to present to the council
It's like-
with a submission, and we'll force them into an embarrassment, hopefully.
Good luck with it.
So they cough up with it's only a couple of grand, it's not going to break the bank. And support the other museums as well. I think we should go and force
Yes,
all together.
I think so. Look, thank you for that presentation, and I do appreciate the information. Sorry, I missed that. Multi, I didn't see the box across. So, but it is a multi-application. And thank you too for the detailed information.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Gives a very good picture.
it's a good wee museum, and I'd recommend you pop in sometime and have a
Well,
look.
we can.
I think you'd be quite amazed.
We'll put a special
Okay.
tour on for you if you'd like.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right, with a cup of tea.
Being at the eyesight knowing point is to our visitors. You know, people coming into town and they want to come through. We get people coming to search ancestors and
Wasn't the full
things,
count.
and they go to the museum to find that out. So that's true. Yeah, you do a good job. Thank you.
Yeah,
Okay.
actually,
You
Thank
guys
you.
do a
Thank you.
wonderful job, and I would like to acknowledge the fact that your operational costs and things, what they are, but you're an amazing group of volunteers,
Yeah.
and the fact that it is run by volunteers. So I think that actually it's a nominal cost that you're asking for to provide such a wonderful service, because you're not even expecting anything for your hours and hours of dedicated voluntary service. And I just commend you all, and thank you so much for coming to speaking to us tonight so that you could highlight these things for us. We are going to be moving into talks about the LTP very shortly, and things like this we want to make sure are on our radar. So we are pushing to ensure that our communities continue to support things like our museums and our libraries, which should be part of basic infrastructure services and things in our community. So thank you. Thank you all so much.
Okay.
Kia ora.
Thanks, Mel.
Go on to the volunteer.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And because they have something like that on there. We didn't know anything about.
Questions?
Find out that it
Any further questions?
that you shut down for the year, and then there's a community board with no additional funding to the.
Can we take this up later?
Right, sorry.
Okay, so next we have Pat. That's right.
Feel free to face it.
2, 3 or any. Nice to see you tonight. So you're speaking on behalf of the community patrol.
We are. Not sure if you hesitated on my surname or not. I'm Pat, the treasurer of the Martinborough Community.
Yes, no, I did. I just, I'm informal, sorry.
It does cause some interest. And Claire Fleming, our coordinator. Hi. Now, I know you've read the submission, so we're really trying not to repeat ourselves. We purchased our current patrol vehicle. It's a Honda CRV. We purchased it in 2016. It was funded by grants, private donations, and our own funds. Now, this gave us a dedicated vehicle. It's white, approved signage, clearly stating we are the Martinborough Community Patrol, and this is what CPNZ require. When the patrol was started 27 years ago, some of you will remember, we all used our own vehicles at our own cost, and the emphasis was covert. We didn't want any identification. We were concerned with possible ramifications, and it was all new. Ideas changed. We moved on to those magnetic signs that went on our own vehicles, which said Martinborough Community Patrol. And then ideas changed yet again, and patrolling became overt. Emphasis on the dedicated vehicle, approved signage, high visibility. It ensures we are a deterrent. It helps keep crime figures down. It was our Wairarapa Police Liaison Officer, Sergeant Ian Osland, who encouraged and assisted all Wairarapa patrols to purchase their own vehicles. The patrol vehicle is the most important piece of equipment we have. We can't patrol without it. And we knew that vehicle wasn't going to last forever. And now it's reached replacement time. We set up a working group of patrollers who knew things about cars, and they recommended an EV. Before I hand over to Claire to talk about why, I just like to mention as a treasurer, just look at our AGM financial report. We've got sponsorship from local businesses, and that does cover our fuel costs. But the vehicle needs more than just fuel. We've got to register it, we've got to insure it, we've got to maintain it, and hope that fuel costs don't continue to go up. And then, of course, sponsorship is not guaranteed forever. An EV will give us financial security. Claire is going to talk about EVs.
So thanks for the opportunity to come and talk to you tonight. We really appreciate it, especially after having talked to the council earlier as well. We value the second chance, I guess, that we've been given. As Pat said, we purchased our current vehicle in 2016. It's actually an early 2000s model, so it was secondhand when we purchased it, and it's really coming to the end of its the most reliable part of its life. When we talked about going to an electric vehicle, the large reason for that was financial. So if you look at our outgoings as a patrol, a lot of it is petrol. So if we can do away with that, then we are going to be a much more financially comfortable organisation. We don't receive any funding from Community Patrols New Zealand. Every individual local patrol is self-funded. And although we have an operating relationship with the police, there's no funding from them either.
However, they have said that if we do secure an electric vehicle, they are happy to work with us to ensure that we can charge it at the police station. So we're really grateful for that level of support, even though they can't give us money as such. We did have some concern in terms of going EV about the lifespan of batteries. But we are, the more we can spend on a vehicle now, the longer the lifespan of the battery will be. And we're hoping that that will, in the future, give us time to raise the funds for a replacement battery, or indeed by then the technology may have advanced that replacement batteries aren't even a big issue. So, yeah, thanks again. If you've got any questions, we'd love to.
Can I ask a question about the vehicle you're looking at? Have you sussed one out completely, or
No.
an idea of what type?
We're looking probably at a Nissan Leaf, largely because they're one of the more economical EV options. We have an agent who's working for us, looking for a vehicle at the moment, and the feedback from him is that thanks to the increasing popularity of EVs, the price is going up a little bit in the second-hand market in particular. So that's another reason that we're trying to increase the budget slightly. But we have got some, yeah. So hopefully we'll have one.
Okay.
As soon as he.
And it'll be a second-hand one again. You'll be.
It will be second-hand, bought in from Japan.
Okay.
So that's the $20,000. That's about the cost of it.
That's what our increased budget would be.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we were initially hoping to secure one for lower than that. Yeah, but it's becoming a bit of a struggle. That's the feedback we're getting from them.
Yeah.
So the current vehicle, is it just has Community Patrol New Zealand logos on it, or does it have your sponsors on it?
It does have the sponsors that we had at the time the vehicle was purchased.
So you've still got currently 8 sponsors? Or what's listed there?
They're not all on the vehicle.
Oh, okay.
Correct me if I'm wrong, Pat, but I think the sponsors that are on the vehicle are
The ones that helped us purchase a vehicle.
Okay. So these are just people who do they regularly?
They're on our Facebook. They're on our Facebook page. Ones that businesses that give us money.
On a
ongoing. Yeah.
yeah.
We acknowledge them on our Facebook page, and
How much is it a month, Pat?
$20.
$20 a month
Oh, wow.
that they give us on a regular basis.
Sense it's 240. Yeah.
which, as I said,
Yeah.
is covering our fuel costs, but not our running costs.
No.
And while we don't have any financial support from CPNZ, they do put requirements on us. So, for example, we have to have a white car and, visibility and
Safety reasons.
we've got to have it sign written with the CPNZ livery and all of that.
So they insist on putting their livery on, but don't give you any money for it.
Correct.
It's a bit tough, isn't it? Somebody needs to go to the marketing course.
It does ensure that community patrol vehicles are readily identified anywhere in New Zealand,
Yeah.
because they will all say community patrol, but they will also say the town they come from.
Yeah.
And it's a standard. We look rather like a police car at first glance. I'm sure you've seen it parked outside the police station. Yeah. Helps.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's good.
Okay, well, I have no other questions. It's a very good application. We'll put it into consideration.
Thank you.
Help.
The opportunity.
What are other avenues beside what we're talking about here? Have you looked at any other avenues?
So as you know, we applied to the council because we were advised that their grants were the best fit for what we were looking for. We perhaps weren't given the best advice about that, but anyway. And we have also approached South Waireka Rotary.
Yep.
But we're yet from them.
What about the business association?
No, we haven't at this point.
There's potential for cooperation there that may be worthwhile investigating.
Yeah.
And I'll be doing some of that myself as well. So
Good point, yeah.
thank you very much for your presentation.
Thank you.
Thanks very much.
Thanks.
Kia ora. Sorry, if I could just again take a moment to acknowledge you, the incredible work you've done and all the years that you've been putting that voluntary work in. I actually do remember when it started 27 years ago. And I mean, it's been incredible. It does make you feel safe, particularly when you are younger, and growing up and having a community patrol and knowing that there's people always looking out for you. So sometimes it can seem thankless. Thank you. Thank you very, very much for all the hours and the work that you do. And thank you for bringing this to us today.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, we're now looking for Martin.
Kia ora all. Thank you very much for your time. I am Martin Priest, and I came in July, as you might remember. This is going to take 3 minutes or less. This is a quick update on what's happened since July, when the community board kindly contributed $1,000 to the planting project at the golf course corner. And so I wanted just to update you, it's courtesy really, and then also, of course, ask you for it. So thank you for the money. It came through, it was Karen and I, and Angela was there on the day as well. We had 2 planting sessions, so we're making progress extending that little corner. The golf club has been fantastic, and they've taken down the wattle trees, as you will have seen on the corner there, for visibility and to sort of help with roading, and also being able to look in and get more sun on that patch. So yeah, we had two mornings, the plants came through, the money flowed back to Hikotari in Featherston and some to Kahununu as well. Kahunui. So we put 230 plants in the ground on 2 occasions, the 15th and the 28th. We had quite a good turnout the first morning, a little less the second, but we got them all on the ground. We've got lots of mulch, so we're putting mulch in anticipation of a dry summer. So we've got probably more than half an acre of what's going to be within a years, quite a canopy of native planting, which is, I don't think Martinborough has that anywhere else in a public space. So I'm pleased about that. Yeah, so now also partly because we've had donations from people who live on the estate of lime chip that they don't want. We've got 2 big mounds of lime chip. So the thought would be that we would put a little pathway through this so that, and golf clubs are happy for people to walk in and on. It's way away from the playing area. You'll have seen it, of course, in the Martinborough Star this month. There's Karen doing some planting, and I'm over there in the distance and so on. So we had 12 people that day. So anyway, second part of why I'm here is to file a little application, wanting another $260 if at all possible, to buy some weed mat so we can put down a pathway through this little planting area, which will take us to a little viewing spot looking out towards the hills in the midst of this. Yeah, so it's going to be obviously voluntary labour, largely mine. I keep a wheelbarrow and a shovel on site all the time, and I go up there for an hour at a time and shovel mulch, and others do as well. So
Awesome.
yeah, no, it's a very small thing, guys, but it's the way of the future and to our own New Zealand, I think. We've all got to think, nature and helping nature along and so on. So this is a little thing we can easily do on the corner of a bit of public land. Yeah, with anybody wanting to get involved when they want to. I've done some photographs on Sunday in the wind up there. There was a wonderful rainbow over the whole site at the time, but I haven't managed to capture those. But anyway, it's coming along. We're going to do it. You don't see a lot when first planting happens, but we'll keep at it. So I'm wondering if we could ask you for $260, which I priced out for weed mat. And I can also say I've got some more plants coming, courtesy of the Aorangi Restoration Trust, who are our new friends. They've had a great planting season. We've read what's coming in the Star in a couple of weeks' time, which I've written about them. So they've got some leftover plants from Koanui that are going to come our way, and we'll put those in the next couple of weeks as well. So $50 for some fertilizer tabs as we do that bit of planting would also be welcome. Thanks, Nikki. I've got a little filled in form here.
You take it, I can take it.
Thank you. Actually, Karen, it's going to need I'll leave it with Karen. Can I do that? It's going to need a bank statement.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry,
Yeah,
a bank number. Anyway, without being presumptuous. So yeah, no, small thing. We'll keep advertising it. That's what I do. It's my day job, publicity and so on. So you'll keep hearing a lot about it, and I will probably keep coming along.
Good. Thank you for that.
Oh,
Any questions?
Looking great.
Yeah.
well, the planting was done the first lot in June 21, which was a combination of Bryce and Mate Higgins had the idea originally, and I, it's the biodiversity group. So we're really pleased about that. And golf course, as I say, not a problem, not an issue. Mulch keeps turning up, and we're getting to the stage in a year or two where it'll just be a real pleasure to go there. Actually,
It's looking very good. It's looking.
Thank you. Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mark.
Thank you, Martin.
Thank you very much, Martin. Well done.
Cheers.
Okay, and finally we have Ashley. Lines. Welcome.
Good evening, all. Evening. I don't know whether you know John, my colleague from Lions. John Sutherland.
Over here.
I'm after two things from you tonight. One is I want you to understand where Lions is going and what it is it's trying to do. And secondly, I want you to support in what it is that we're trying to accomplish. And I'll talk about it in detail. You'll have seen in the most recent issue of The Star where we put in an article about some of the things that we've been doing in the past, pests, the fair, the Skyline Challenge, Toast Martinborough, Firewoods, also Wellington Free Ambulance, the Men's Shed Defibrillator Project. We're making a big contribution to the pump track. But it's not enough. We want to do more. And what we want to do is to focus on the Martinborough community and how can we support the community to grow, and how can we invest in a number of things that will expand the range of options that people in Martinborough can do, including visitors. I had a chat with Angela and she suggested that I come along to here and have a chat with you guys so that you know where we're about. We're just starting on this journey. We've been doing a number of things at a reasonably low level for a number of years, and now we want to take a big jump.
Awesome.
Okay?
Yeah.
So the support that I want from you is I would like a direct channel between Lions, and this is probably me in the first instance, to the community board so we can chat. And I suggest that we have Angela, because I've already had a number of conversations with Angela about how things go.
You have a busy woman, yet another job.
One of the things that I learned many years ago when I was really busy is the best way to get things done is to give it to somebody who's busy.
Yeah, right. Okay.
So just fill me in on that detail that you want. You want to meet more with the board?
No, not necessarily with the board. It's more with a representative of the board so we can talk things over. We're looking for doing 1, 2, maybe at the absolute outside, 3 reasonably big jobs a year. We want to raise funds, get people together, get an understanding, promote it, and then get somebody else to implement it. We are creators, not implementers.
And that's on top of all the things you already do.
Yes.
Not 3 more things.
Yeah. Or maybe 2 or maybe 1. But part of it also is growing our club, trying to get new members involved, getting people to understand what it's about, raising our profile in the community. So there's a whole number of really good benefits that will accrue to everybody if we can start getting this underway.
Okay.
You got a lovely
No,
smile on your face.
Fine.
Thank you.
It's like the opposite of coming to ask for money, isn't it?
You want projects? We got a few tonight.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
For my, the pump track is needing money. It's one of your projects.
So we've already allocated 10 grand for that. And with the Skyline Challenge coming up, we're going to be allocating some of that money to the pump project.
Oh, great.
Yep.
Yeah. Awesome.
So we've guaranteed $10,000 for the pump track. And plus whatever we can make on top of that.
Wow.
Okay, so.
Would you be interested in supporting the community patrol?
We are at the very early stages of working through how this can work. Hence the need to have a conversation here, and hence the need to have that link, because we don't know what we don't know.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah, that's great. Excellent signage opportunity.
Yeah.
But existing projects that need other funds, other sources would be quite a good option for you, do you think?
I think we're more around creating rather
Yeah,
than maintaining.
Yeah,
Right,
Yeah.
okay,
yeah,
what's your preference?
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Are you aware that we have a community board open house every second Saturday here?
Not.
Well, that's so channel. You can come and talk to us
Yeah, well, yeah,
actually about what may be going on in your head and
talk about that.
how can we get ourselves together.
Yeah,
So yes and no. I found out on a Facebook page on Saturday just before it started.
Yeah.
Well, that's what we do. And that part of that was also part of setting that up was to reach out and try and find what is it the community want and how can we best go about delivering stuff. It's been a very good introduction for all of us. We're all relatively new onto the community board. We do get a lot of feedback. People here don't hesitate to tell us what's wrong. And they also are quite good in telling us what's right. So it's been a good.
Because that is most important.
Sorry?
That is most important as well. Sharing on what is going well.
yeah.
So the thing about that is you're welcome to come anytime we have every second Saturday.
That's that who?
Just here, just.
Yeah, Waihinga.
Mark Waihinga Centre. And we happily engage with anybody and everybody to talk about what it is they want to do. But we're also happy to sit down and have a deeper conversation about things you may want to communicate or work with us on, or how can we work with you, or where can we point you, or how can we point you. So that's always there. It's always open.
I had a big discussion with our community coordinator and went through a list of ideas of things to create with the whole, what you're talking about just the other day. And that is the problem of not having funding to do it, not having the ideas as well. So there is quite a few connectivity things there as well. So yeah, a lot of ideas going around.
Lots of ideas running around in lots of people's heads.
And lots
It's
of
a case of finding out what they are and prioritize.
Yeah, totally.
Because we can't do them all. Nobody can.
No.
So if we do one, maybe two.
Yeah.
3, then we're getting it.
No, it's good. Look, excellent.
Awesome. That's great. Yeah.
Collaboration.
Participate in that wherever we can.
Exciting.
Yeah.
Nice.
Well, we think it is.
It's really,
Quite a renewal for us.
yeah,
Good.
awesome.
So when do you meet?
We meet the second Wednesday and the fourth Wednesday of the month.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'll pop along to the next one.
Yep.
Yes, you will.
So our first meeting in the month is our speaker coming along.
Yeah.
And the second meeting in the month is our business meeting, where we go through and break up into small groups. And there's one who does on the Skyline Challenge, another one who works on the fair, and we're working on this activity and that's
Because we needed to speak to them about extra help for the Santa Parade as well.
Do you want to talk about that now, or is that?
Well, we could take it to them. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. We just need to talk to you about some, just a few additional bodies if you have them for the Santa Parade. Rotary is supplying 8, I think.
8+.
8+. We just need a few extra bodies because some money.
The Christmas parade
from a few of the bits.
fell over last year for obvious reasons, mostly to do with health and safety setups. So we're trying to just work to it again and pull people in to pick it up and run with it. So we're getting pretty close to having it pretty well sorted out. But one of the things we probably will need is a few more feet on the ground in terms of the marshalling. We've got somebody providing us with a safety plan. We've got somebody installing the safety plan, but we need bods to fill up the gaps.
So that's a really good thing for you to come along and talk about.
Very good. Thank you.
Yeah, do that.
I've just got to keep track of the Wednesdays.
Yeah.
It'd be such a good Santa, wouldn't
Hmm?
it? It'd be such a good Santa.
A lot of birds and attributes.
Mrs. Willie didn't hear properly.
I'd actually put on my.
He said, oh, yeah.
My beard isn't that long.
Yes.
So, any other questions? But we do.
No, that's really, really good.
We do thank you.
So just to confirm, you definitely don't want any money.
Yeah. Well, it's the first time I've been here, as is obvious.
No, that's.
And one thing, I was humiliated by the people coming here and the things that they're doing. I'm sorry, humbled, not humiliated, humbled. And then everybody's asking for money and I'm thinking, what's a better way of doing this? I haven't reached a conclusion yet.
Yeah, I know, it's.
We haven't got a form for no money requests. I've got one.
Yeah, but everybody's crying out for money.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's part of it.
And it's, they've got volunteers, they've got people there, it's just
Yeah.
really that.
Oh, yes, they do. But I'm just trying to think of what's the way in which we can handle that more effectively.
Yeah.
Rather than people coming here and going there and going there and going
Oh,
somewhere.
totally.
And look, that would be a great outlet for us as well. If we know that you can assist other people, we can always put them in touch. That's a great thing. So again, I thank you for coming on.
And so hence the need for a liaison.
Awesome.
Liaison and collaboration.
Thank you very much.
Absolutely.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks.
Well, thank you.
And
Thank
Andrew's got
you.
my contact details, so if you need to get in contact with me.
Did you meet?
Where?
Lions Den,
Right.
at the Lions Den.
At the Lions Den.
Yeah, just, I didn't know if you went to. Oh, sorry.
At the Lions.
I don't know if you went to.
the road.
Okay.
Not long enough, not long enough.
We're right next door to the medical centre.
Cool.
I knew where that was.
Okay,
All
thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
I think we should finish while we're on a.
Hey, John.
No.
Meeting.
Why didn't Stefan come and sit with us? I always think that like seems something.
So when will the actions from this? Do we need to-
My heart is so full right now. That was just amazing.
I met him at the resilience stuff when I was doing the workshop, and they approached me and asked me, what can I do to help
I'm
you?
just going to.
Wow. So great.
Yeah, I know. It's okay.
Right, so look, we're pretty much wrapped that up. We're just going to put through a suggestion that a volunteer has already stepped forward. We just need to name that person, which is Angela, to liaise with the Lions.
Are you okay with it? Yeah, I'm fine with that. Yeah. I mean, it doesn't have to. Yeah, I'm fine with
It's already done.
Oh.
Just.
Yeah, I'm just seconding it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Got a lot of them linked together. That's the good thing about it. A lot
I
of
think the
them.
thing is that the Wednesday second meetings might be a good one for us to just pop into.
Yeah, yeah. So,
So I'm planning to do that.
sure.
Just got to get.
We're all willing.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're all willing.
Be a little caddies.
Got to be lions. His wife's lovely too. Lion.
Right.
Yeah. Cool.
So any other commentaries about the applications? Any questions, any commentary? Sorry, yes.
Oh, sorry. This is why I just love Martinborough. I love our community so much. And, you know, obviously we've got these opportunities for where and how we can support some of the amazing things, but also having the Lions come and say what they've said as well. I just wanted to say that because I feel that.
Yeah, that was great.
Okay.
Yeah, cool.
Right, so we're going to move to the chair's report. Can I ask somebody to volunteer to move the chair?
Yeah, move it.
Second it? Okay. So now there's not much to talk about, but I'm happy to have open discussion on all the topics at list. There's 6 of them there. And some will be for future, they're just an alert, not an actual action item. But the first one is around Pain Farm grants. I think we're getting to the stage that everybody saw the financial statements I think we're at the stage now where I think we can comfortably decide on some grants, whether that's tonight or separately.
No, we need to open it up, don't we?
Yeah, the time, just have a think about the timing.
Oh, that's the things like that.
Yeah, we will need realistically probably 3 weeks to schedule and advertise, and then we tend to open the grants for a month. I don't know what you've done in the past, but
Wow, 4 years, grants were not given out of paying the state because the priority was to get paying the state back up to speed. So in that triennium from 2019 to 2022, Martinborough Community grants had to pay the state.
So what's
Because the funding was going back into the pain estate to get it up to standard.
okay.
Yeah.
So what's your?
We also had, we also had commitments made by the previous, not last triennium, but the triennium before Community Board, commitments that had been made in advance over those years for the Waihinga Centre.
So that's very,
So,
There's no funding.
so there was nothing in the kitty because they were taking those funds. So
Okay.
but that's finished now.
Everybody's seen the financial report.
Yeah.
Suggesting we've got a reasonable amount of money that we could safely put into grants.
So through you, Chair, I'd also just remind it's a draft at this stage, so we're still waiting on the finals, but
Yes, yes.
yeah, but you're right, it gives you an indication. that
you could take it out of it.
Yeah.
Quite comfortable.
So what's the step that we advertise for applications?
So you're definitely looking to do a grant funding round like we did
Yes.
the other grant, yeah, so I would just
Let's do
need
that out, but I think we are, are we?
a resolution from you for the dates you want the funding round.
Yeah.
And then we just need to allow some time either side of that for administration process. And
Do we have to actually set the exact amount?
Well, I would think it would be advisable to have an amount available
Absolutely.
in still, because you've got 155,000 there. I don't think you'd want to be going and putting out 155,000.
No.
I mean,
And as
pick some funds in reserve.
Yeah, totally.
But also, I mean, I can see here, it looks like it's quite healthy until you actually read that they've also included in there the insurance claim income.
Yeah, no.
So actually it's not sitting there, it's not that amount, it's it is less because that is already ring fenced to refix that garage.
Is it?
Yeah, it says it down the bottom,
We thought.
ring fence for replacement garage.
But have we decided?
Yeah, I'm just, we're going to put a garage now. Yeah.
really good news.
Yeah, no, but that's what it says in here.
But it's kept separate is what it's saying. So that's.
Yeah, it's been ring. Yeah, so it
My understanding on this,
So I thought,
Was we spending?
paying funds, we've decided that the garage was not worth it.
Why?
It's top of the boat from the house. It's in pretty sad repair, and spending money on it would, I think, be a waste of spending money on it.
So I think that's been decided previously.
that was already.
Yeah, so it probably just shouldn't say ring fence for replacement garage.
Maybe it says it in there because this is the old one, doesn't it?
So it's-
Yeah.
I'd say it probably needs to be recorded in there for the purposes of audit as to
That is
where it came from and
Yeah.
what it was earmarked or what it is there for the purpose.
Yeah.
I think, the audit process is nearly over. The final draft, the final figures will be coming to a full council meeting in November.
Yeah.
They're not going to be any different from
No.
what's there on that.
No.
Now,
So that's what I'm assuming. So
We need 3 weeks.
it was send out a note that we're taking applications for grants.
Yeah, so.
Do we-
Well,
do we
sorry, I think we need to be just, think, just when I'm looking at the budget and things, it is actually, it does look like it's going to be 155 potentially. I think we need to not go out at too big an amount, if that makes sense.
No. What do we do now? Totally.
It's been something in our discussion in head that we're talking maybe 40 grand max.
Oh, I think a little bit.
Can we just confirm firstly that the pump track?
They, how much they want.
Yeah,
I did ask.
what was the round amount that was discussed with Charlotte for the
pain.
Oh, you mean what was earmarked? I don't know.
Yeah, and she said that there was a certain amount earmarked that she believes was going to be.
Yeah.
I have a feeling it was 15,000 in my head.
When I asked her, she said 35.
35.
She said, what, no, I said, what would you be, you know, when it does come, what would you be expecting? And she said, well, the maximum's 35. So she was aware that was the maximum. So she implied that the 35 was the
Has that actually come through?
Well, I don't know.
Meeting or-
No, Charlotte was here earlier and she said it's in
It's been earmarked.
that it was earmarked from Pen Farm.
Oh, the question obviously.
It may have been discussed with Bryce. I don't know what the background is on that, but I think we need to confirm with her in case, because if there's a certain amount and more so than anyone else, Charlotte has actually come and been told, wait, you know, like we've got to wait until we can figure this out. And I don't want.
It's 35, isn't it?
It's 35.
Yeah, it was 35. Yeah.
Perfect.
I did have that. Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, if we go out saying we've got 40 grand and 35 of it is.
So 40,000 was what we thought, because we didn't know how much we had.
Yeah.
Now we've got a bit more, we might go beyond that, and Angela thinks we might go a bit more than that.
Yeah.
So I think we just got to reach out to people to make applications.
Yeah, I think so. I think it might be time, but especially, Nikki, is it possible to go back to the clubs, like the new soccer female that we said, actually there were things on there that literally fit in with the Payne Farm.
New equipment.
Some of the ones that we're talking about equipment that we said actually that fits with Payne Farm, and the amounts were more than what we could give with our
playground. They asked.
I think probably the first step is actually to work out what the dollar value is that you want to let be available for grants in this round, and then work through the mechanism as to who and how to advertise and all the rest of it, because there's no point having the discussion that you're going to do a grants round if you haven't sorted out what the value is.
Yeah.
It's probably
They need to know what
but then go through the next stages.
I take your point, and that's probably a good way to do it. I think we can build an idea how much money we'd like to put aside, and then see what grants come in and decide what takes priority for that. The question I have is, should we be doing this to make sure that our final decisions are in our next and last meeting?
Yeah, I don't think that'll work in time.
Is there a particular reason you wanted the Payne Farm funding to happen before the end of 2023?
No,
it just need to happen within the financial year 2023-2024.
Well, I think based on what we're hearing, that would be acceptable, wouldn't it?
Well, yeah, for the new, I think possibly for the first meeting next year, to have everything all ready for rather than trying to.
I mean, ready to.
Have it forward. Yeah, to get all the work done, because it's going to be a little bit.
So I think the other thing too is if we have a number in our head, which may be 50 grand, 60 grand, whatever, I don't think we want to get too elaborate.
No.
But then we wait and see what applications come in. And thinking of the fact that the pump track could be done next year, the soccer people could be done next year, that we can just build idea of what we
momentum going, because nothing's happened for so long.
That's to say, we want to see some positive go out. I'd like to see something.
I think we're best just to wait until we see what applications come through. And I don't think probably we should talk too much about money, because you don't want people trying to create what they think will fit they can get. If you're going to do this much for them, then that, so I think we need to tie a little bit around that. But just definitely having a clear, but I think we're at the stage now, it has been so long that we need to say that we are opening it and give a certain amount of time for people to get an application in, and we're going to have to look at it, because obviously our community has some really big needs.
I think the money situation is,
and we can't do everything
to talk about, not anybody else.
Yeah, and I think more if we can just confirm the criteria.
Make a decision tonight on the dollar value, and then we can, perhaps a time frame early January, once council and community board come back, or perhaps council then in early January when council are back at work, could start the advertising process, so that submissions or applications open for a month, so that then perhaps they might be ready for whether it's the first or the second community board meeting.
Okay, so that's a suggestion. Now, all I'm going to do is say, if everybody wants to put their suggestion, you've got a couple of minutes to do it individually.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we'll go back, because I think Aidan's probably put a good point. The thing I'm not too sure about is whether we put a dollar value on what we're going to do. We're just going to say we're making some grants. That's to us, and then we'll see what builds up. Because I don't think we want to go and give all our money away in one hit. I don't think we want to be stingy by the same token, but we do want to make sure that we're giving them to the right projects to make sure that it's doing the community the best fun, particularly under the scope of what Payne Farm means.
Yeah.
So I think, and the reason I suggested that is because, I mean, I think trying to get applications in, or get people to get applications in before Christmas, there's a rush between now and then. The silly season then happens.
Only 20th of October, though.
And then, well, if it's the 20th of October now, and then applications have, I mean,
3 weeks.
Nikki said it's 3 or 4 weeks to advertise, when it's the next community board meeting, and then that becomes all of a rush to try and get a little bit of information collated. And it gives the people an opportunity to get their head around the fact that
But we just proceed as quickly as we can without it being necessarily a rush. But it's,
Can I just, Stephen, did you have something to contribute there?
Nikki.
Sorry, guys, can I?
No, hold on, we're just listening.
Stefan's just gonna.
That's with Stefan.
Nikki, does the board have a grants process? So do we have criteria?
Yes.
Timing, we have the assessment process, how does it made and how, you know, like what level of funding that can be made available? So is it like from $1 to $40,000? And like, is all of that in place so that there's rules and process around it?
So we have a grants policy that relates to the grants pool that the community boards and Māori Standing Committee have.
Yeah.
And that has criteria around it related to the 4 wellbeings. This is slightly different, and just through you to maybe a recommendation would also be that we finish the policy for Payne Farm first, because this could be something that goes into the policy around the criteria for the Payne Farm policy, and then that would also be something that could be online. The only thing I'm thinking about is around transparency, so making sure that we are very clear around who can apply, what the fund is for, and there is, I think, some thoughts around the transparency around what money there is. So normally with the grants process, we would put together a paper to say what's been applied for and what money there is to allocate. And so there would need to be some paperwork to support that.
Okay. I'm not convinced of having it before the policy settled, because that may be a bit harder, but we could certainly do an amendment to the policy or state in the current policy that we are working through the grants process because it's new to us. There may be some historical you can bring in, that policy may have some bearing on it. But in the end, we may say, because this is the first in a long time, we may need to work through the process before we totally encapsulate it.
Storm, Mel's got a hand up.
Sorry, Mel, you can now speak.
Well, the one thing I did really want to stress is that while this information is here, it's not confirmed around dollars and values and what's even in there. And until we can get figures that actually state this amount is available for grants, I still think it's the cart before the horse.
Yeah, look, I think I understand what you're saying.
It's frustrating if it is. What if we've only got $200?
I understand what you're saying, but what we've been
those accounts that are in there are the draft accounts. They've been prepared for the auditors from the finance team. They once the next council meeting happens in November, they will be finalised, because those accounts, those figures will be in the annual report. And from while they're called draft, they can't be called finalised until that they're published in the annual report. So I've got great confidence that there's not going to be any difference between those figures there and the figures that will be in the annual report, which will be tabled at the council meeting in November.
Okay.
I've got no issue with
I don't know.
that at all.
Okay. No, I mean,
I think we should have great
if you know
confidence.
that those figures are okay, then that's all I'm saying is that how many times have we been called out? I'm just, yeah, I just,
Final figures.
if that's the final figures, that's
Yep.
awesome. That's great.
I think we're making some assumptions, but I think they're grounded assumptions we're making. I think there's.
I think while the team at finance, I mean, you know, we started off having that first workshop with Karen and Stefan early this year here, sitting here, and you know, Karen came to the table and said that she'd done the digging and found out that the council hadn't been paying. I've got the confidence that because she's been able to do that digging and she's found stuff which hasn't been disclosed to the community board in the past, I've got the confidence that, you know, if she says that that, you know, the figures are what they are there, sure they're draft, but they're going to be, they will be finalised. I've got confidence, I've got no reason to doubt, you know, what she's shared in that paperwork and documentation.
So based on that, are you
Sorry, thank you, Aidan, for that information and things. I do, yeah, I appreciate you sharing that. Yeah, I mean, that was all my concern, was just that past history. So thank you for
Thanks,
letting me know.
Cheers.
Yeah.
It's not obvious to me now, but it could well because I'm not seeing it. The back rental for the transfer station, that in here somewhere?
It says it's been included in the report, but I can't find it anywhere either.
Lease money.
Yes.
Back the lease money for.
Yeah, it's in there, so it'll be behind rent received. That's why the budget was 110, but we got 118 because the extra 18,000 is the 3 times the 6,000. Is what I would assume.
Is the amount of what?
It was
No,
6,000.
it's only 8,000.
Huh? It was 6,000 something for the lease per year.
There's 110 to 118 is another 8,000.
The budget was 110, so
we've got 18,000 more.
No, it's
8,000 more.
Oh, sorry, I was misreading it.
Well, we're still guessing a bit, aren't we? Does that?
So
That's still guessing. It says it's
yeah. So it doesn't look like it. It doesn't look like it's in there. Can anyone point it out to me?
Look, I just want to see it pointed out. It is there.
Yeah.
Because that is
It states it.
outstanding.
It says it's, yeah.
And it's 3 years. It's 3 years payments. Myself.
See if it is, it's not described properly.
It would be good to have the amount of, and it's separate.
Because it's,
You know, so we
3 years.
just so we could read it, yeah.
It should be.
Can I just ask, under miscellaneous income, it says that 6,160. And in the bottom, it says the insurance claim income of 36,106. Is there a transposition area? Is that correct? One says 160 and one says 106.
Yeah.
Was that the transposition area? Action point. If you just get them to check that.
An action point.
But then if it hadn't been the auditor will pick it up.
Well, if I mean, whether Nikki's just if she's able to perhaps email a question through to Karen or someone.
Yeah, just clarify.
No, if it justifies adding yet another action point.
No, we're not going to do an action point.
No.
We're just moving to the clarification.
I think there's a lot of questions being asked about that sort of, and while I appreciate you all want to know what the state of the land is, but I think I think, you know, there's a lot of time that's been spent asking questions and, you know, and getting answers that have come back. You know, I think, you know, we could probably.
But this is the one question that has been asked multiple times, and we were advised that it hasn't been paid for 3, and we're wanting to know here, when it's saying that it's in here, where those funds are.
Is the other question I have?
You know, I mean, and you're right, Aidan, it can quite easily just be pointed out to us if we can't see it, Where is it?
Could be in somebody's description. The other thing I would say is we show no interest income, and I'm just not sure that we should have not had some interest.
Quite a bit of money sitting there, isn't there?
Well, there's been a lot of money, and I would have thought that would have attracted some interest, even though the interest rates are low. There still should have been some interest on some of the monies we've had, and there's nothing shown there. So maybe we just need some clarification, and I agree with you, Aidan. I think the best thing is we can ask Nikki to email the questions, ask the questions, and get a reply back, and then Nikki can come back to us with a confirmation. Is that all right? Okay. Right, so are we done with Payne Farm?
I don't know, what's our action? What did it do? We've talked around
Nikki's going to fire some questions.
Sorry, I did have a question. It says down the bottom there that there's a capital spend of $27,491 remaining deposit for fencing. Has the fencing been started? Because half the money's been paid a long time ago, hasn't it? Wasn't that our understanding that
It was probably halfway through last year, I think.
Yeah.
The 50% deposit had to be paid for the fencing of the waterways.
before they started?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Could you answer that, Stephen?
I think the fencing needs to be done, but let me confirm.
Yep, thank you.
Because yeah, true. If that's remaining on the deposit, it probably needs to come out.
Okay, all right. Okay, so the outcome is we're going to get Nikki to write some questions to the finances and please explain these items because it's not clear to us. They may well be there, but they're not clear to us.
We have been asking for the breakdown of the
rent receipt.
and that's been so long.
Yeah.
It says that it's but that could be sensitive, but it was given in the past.
So
The thing is that this is actually about what the council pays the Payne estate. I don't understand why that needs to be separated out or has any kind of reason it can't be fully transparent. Because how is what they pay the Payne estate for the transfer station sensitive?
No,
It's nothing to do with the tenants that live.
It's not sensitive.
No.
So the lease amount from Payne Farm should be separate for the refuse station from the council.
Absolutely.
Absolutely not. I don't even.
Okay, yeah,
We can see it and we'd know.
because it's been a super long day, so.
And as far as so it sounds like we're going to defer till the next meeting in November before we set an amount and a date, because by that point this will be audited.
Oh, yes, is that right, Aidan? Is that the best thing to do?
Well, it will be presented to the finance meeting.
So
But wait until the.
I'd say, I mean, you've got confidence. You've got confidence that there's a significant amount of funds in the account. I think in the next council meeting, from what I understand, is when that annual report is going to be tabled and all those, yeah. So I'd say why don't you say the next community board meeting, decide what dollar value you're going to put out as a grant and then start to publicise the fact that perhaps in the new year, you'll start taking grant applications for Payne estate funding.
Is everybody happy with that sort of statement?
I'm not quite sure why we have to wait quite that long.
It's just process. Mate.
It's just-
Well, I know there's a process to go through. It's just,
Nikki's,
does that take us to the new year? Because we're only the 20th of October. It does. There's only one more community board meeting. I guess it does. I just want to.
end of November. So
Yeah, no,
Nikki's suggesting it's going to take at least 3 weeks to get some
Right.
rolling, which is going to put us in a tight pinch for the next board meeting, which suggests it's probably going to shift over to the new year.
But we can actually put online where it says Payne Farm and distribution will be coming in the new year or that it's good funding that will be opening in the new year. So we can let people know it's coming and give people some certainty which would.
Nikki will create an advert to everybody to announce
Yes.
applications.
There is sorry.
Yeah, but that'll be.
There is an action item to update that, which unfortunately I have not done. So we can update that and I can do that for you.
Yeah, that's what I meant, just that pre saying it's coming.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if we just can move away from this, I've got 3 things that Nikki's going to check on. Just tell me if there's one missing. So we want to have a question on the interest income. Should there be some? The transfer station rental, has that paid? Where is it situated? the fencing, which Stefan's going to look at, but we'll just put it into the questions. Is there any other questions that we need to ask?
Just the amount about that in miscellaneous income, if that refers to the insurance claim or not.
Yes.
If it does, the figure is slightly,
Just the figure.
just transpose. The
It does
numbers
actually,
looks like it's.
sorry, sorry.
Yeah,
So we're just going to clarify that figure.
It does actually say that the landfill lease is included.
that's what it says.
But we can't find it.
Can't find.
Yeah.
Seem to be enough.
Yeah.
Okay, so that will move us on from Payne Farm. Everybody happy? No, it's Christmas parade.
Sorry, guys, I did just, sorry, and I don't know, but one of the things from that Payne Farm income expenditure was just the insurance looks really low, and I just wondered if we covered it for the Payne Farm, what it needs to be to ensure that it could be, if anything happened.
You saying the 36,000 is, which I take it to be the income?
No, the
Insurance.
and the expenditure, the insurance.
Line. All I'm saying is I just want to know that we're covered for insurance to ensure that the Payne Farm can be repaired or back to its original state.
Is that insurance, Stefan, is that for the house and is that for the house and the cottage?
And tenancy, like landlord.
Landlord's
I
insurance.
think, I don't think we pay the insurance on the farm. I'm pretty sure that's.
No.
So the
leasing.
yeah, I think that insurance.
Yeah, there you go.
Place, yeah.
Oh, it definitely looks like it's only going to be covering a house. Not the whole farm or anything.
Yeah, otherwise.
Okay.
I might swap.
Can we close this off now?
No, yeah.
Okay, moving on, Christmas parade. Angela, do you want to say anything about the Christmas parade? Because it was only put there in case we had some things to talk about.
So.
We've got a meeting coming up on Wednesday.
Yeah, we've got a meeting on Wednesday, so the only thing to discuss was we've asked for funding through South Wairarapa Rotary to help cover the cost of the Santa Parade this year, because we were aware we'd got lots of people coming to grants, and as a community board, we don't apply for grants. Madcaps have said that the previous president agreed that they would be the conduit, so they will take the money and they'll pay the invoices for the traffic management and some of the other bills. So that was an agreement made with Will previously at a meeting. So now the current president would like a little bit more clarity. So he would just like us to let them know that we will try and fund the parade if they can. So the only thing around this is we need to have reserves in case we are funding our Christmas parade this year, because we normally used to give 2,000 caps.
So is this a Payne Farm potential?
So no, not Payne Farm.
No. So
Children, that's all.
But it's not capital.
Pay for it. So for the traffic management plan, the council has helped
For a long time. Madcaps paid. Madcaps paid it with the $2,000 we gave them. I've seen the accounts.
Yeah, that's right. No, that's right.
Yeah. So we just, I know. So it's going round in a circle.
It is.
Yeah, so we need funding to have funding out, some of our funds held in case we need to pay for the Santa Parade. Rotary suggested we applied for funding, so it sounds like they are going to give us the $2,000.
Oh, they are.
They are 2,000. That's what they suggested we applied for. So we're hoping that we get it from them, and then Madcaps
to make
their account, and then we don't have to.
Yeah.
We might have some minor amounts that we might have to contribute towards, like the pipe band and things like that. Just a couple of things. Yeah. So we just need to. So that probably needs to be approved to hold.
Oh no, Angela, I do my caroling for free.
Yeah.
So do we need a vote on it?
So probably needs, that probably needs a motion.
What are we voting on?
That we have money available if
in
case it doesn't get covered by Rotary.
So to hold 2,000 from grants.
Yeah.
Yeah, from community board grant. So the proposal is, can we provide $2,000?
Have you got
Christmas funding? Should it be necessary?
Have we got 2,000?
Can we have a mover?
Yeah.
And a seconder?
There you go. Between us.
So the two over there have done it, either way. So that's just sitting in that respect. Okay, so we can move on from there. The second one is pretty easy too. It's Ground Resilience Day. There was a young lady who face painted and donated her time and equipment. And so we're just going to suggest, and I'd like to move, we make a payment of $50 to that lady to cover her expenses.
Yeah, can I just clarify, we had already agreed to set aside $150 as our expense on the day if we had to do things. Remo paid for the sausages, so I just paid for some of the sweet stuff in the kitchen. So out of that $150, I've got $50 to claim to pay for what we did here. So there is still actually was $100, and that's, so we're not actually asking for more than that. This is within that, but we're just going to someone different.
We're just going to pay it to that person.
Yeah, that's
Everybody
fine.
understand?
Yeah.
You have a,
Already got it.
have a vote.
You've already got it. You just,
We've already,
that's fine.
we just
Okay.
yeah,
But thank you for letting us know that you're redirecting
Redirecting it.
Yeah, thanks.
Redirecting it. Yeah.
oh, we got
No,
Remo.
no need
You
to
did an
vote.
amazing job that day. You know,
And can you just go, like, let me know, what does a Remo sausage taste like?
It was gluten free because Vivian's gluten free.
And then we-
Cooked by the bowls club because it was raining, so they had to cook them down there and run round with them in trays.
Okay, moving right along, because I know we've got some things to get through. So the rate review submissions. Now, Karen has put a submission on behalf of the community board. We shared those. You have, haven't you?
You did, I think.
I did share it by email with.
With the community board.
Yeah.
Has everybody got to send a copy of what Karen did? Karen, could we ask that you submit it to Nikki and she'll send it round to, is that all right?
Well done, yeah, I just have to read.
How long was it sent? Last one I've gotten from you was the 15th of September.
I know, it's just
Where?
done recently.
May not have got done, but and
Oh,
I don't.
don't want to say.
Karen, Nikki said she's got a copy, so
Yeah.
she'll send it out to everybody as part of this minute.
sorry, guys, just, I mean, it's not, you know, we try and protect you if we can from having conflicts at the table around things that might get discussed, but, you know.
This is our role, like this is the council's role.
What do you
Sitting
think?
around the table. She's been small.
I need to get grumpy. Okay, so I've made a submission on a personal basis, but I'm happy to share that with everybody else. Angela made a basis, so I will send my copy to Nikki, but you probably already got it anyway, haven't you?
Yeah. She'll have everything.
You want to pull it out of that, or don't you touch that?
No, if you could send it to me.
I'll send it. If Angela, you could send yours, and then we'll send them around.
Send mine.
Eh?
Well, I did it online and it takes it away and I don't get a copy of it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I can't remember what I
What
said.
do we say?
I just said I didn't like the process of consultation.
That's right. Okay.
It's mine.
So we'll send that, and they'll come out with notes too from.
Yeah, I've got the notes from it.
Now, question about Memorial Square, and Stefan, it's very appropriate that you're here.
I could,
If you like.
so the project that was planned out,
The project was?
planned by the project manager on the lights around the square became a much bigger project than what I suppose we originally had envisaged. And there's a large number of crossings, including crossings on Kitchener Street, into the square, around the square, were all included and priced up. And therefore the budget, I think, went up to about over 400,000 or close to 500,000. And when Stefan shared that information with me, we had discussions and asked as to whether the project could be staged in two separate stages, so that the lights and the pedestrian crossings, which were, I suppose, considered the most at risk ones, be worked on and installed first. But the advice coming back from officers was that there would be extra costs involved, and works, construction, etc. And it was best to have the whole project done in one hit. I discussed that with other councillors who are on the infrastructure committee, and it was discussed at length at our infrastructure committee. And again, I was keen to see things expedited, but the other councillors didn't want to break that project down into two, and so with the advice being that by not breaking it down, funding could be applied for and subsidised by Waka Kotahi in the LTP in the next financial year. So as a result of that conversation, I had asked if there was opportunities for a plan B, see if the pedestrian crossings at Oxford Street going into the square and Cambridge Road neighbourhood going into the square could have some perhaps temporary lighting installed in the interim to make them safer in the short term before the whole project was kicked off. And I think with the workload that council staff have been, we had a big meeting today about the long-term plan, and there's been a fair bit of information which has been disseminated, by council staff and then disseminated to councillors for that long-term plan process, along with a lot of other stuff that's been happening as well. I think we're probably having come up with a plan B at this stage. Would that be fair, Stephen?
So no, plan B.
Not at the moment. I'm hoping.
I knew that's what you're getting.
Can I ask the question of just a little bit of detail on the project? I don't know why, but I haven't caught up with the issue about the actual light fittings that have not been available for a very long period. Can I ask what they are? Why are they so difficult to procure? Can you enlighten me on that in any way?
Karen, what was explained was not only is this project, but a lot of other projects with regards to street lighting around New Zealand, to source the lights that meet the standards have been in short supply globally, and there was I think a 26-week time frame for delivery. So as part of the conversation around our around our infrastructure committee, there was a discussion that towards the end of the first quarter of next year, we have something come through infrastructure to then approve the purchase of lights, so at least those orders could be placed prior to start of the following financial year. So we were thinking outside the square to try and get things moving.
Sorry, just to interrupt. Is that another option, alternative fitting?
No.
So we're still talking about this particular light fitting that's in short supply throughout the whole country and the world, is it?
Throughout because they're sourced offshore.
Right.
They're supplied. They are supplied in New Zealand, but the stocks are not available. Or the stocks that are available in New Zealand have all been utilised and used. So therefore, to source more supply,
understand,
overseas.
It seems very unusual for there to be such a delay on light fitting, but anyway. So that's
the best information that's been received.
Okay. I'm not making it personal. I'm just trying to understand it as a professional in that area. It seems unusual that a light fitting should be that difficult to obtain. But anyway, we don't know what it is. I can't be told.
That's the best information there.
Right. Okay.
Aaron.
Thank you.
Can I make a statement? And I'm making a statement on the fact of the information I've received from the community. And they're very upset. We did announce to them that we did get approval last year to do 2 pedestrian crossings, which they knew that was going to happen. I've been quizzed virtually every week that I turn up to these Meet the Community meetings about what's happening. We've been through winter, which would have been the best time to do it, and I still can't give an idea. Now that, to me, is very upsetting, because I think this is a pathway we should have been forging ahead with. I think we're going to get some even stiffer resistance if we go back and say nothing's going to happen until next year. It's not a good outcome, and I would like to think that, is there something wrong with the council that they can't see, that they approved this, now they're going back on it?
They didn't approve the two crossings, Chair. That's not correct. The resolution that was passed to fund out of reserves was to replace all of the non-standard lighting at pedestrian crossings across the region, starting with the lights that were in Martinborough.
I don't.
No, and no. Yes, so that's right, but starting with the ones in Martinborough, and yet, but nothing's been started, and there was no reason to go through and get lightings for the whole, it's crazy to me that that's the reason that nothing's been.
I tend to agree. I don't understand fully the wording you've just said.
I was just correcting you that you said it was two. The decision was to do the two crossings, but that's not right. The decision was made by council to do the crossings in Martinborough.
So I think perhaps, in hindsight,
And it was.
perhaps we should have specified having a staged approach, and perhaps those first two were the priority. Perhaps we could have.
Sorry, Aidan, we did have that discussion. We absolutely,
Yes.
the discussion was that we wanted those two
The most
looked at,
dangerous
because
ones.
they're the ones that people keep telling us someone is going to die on.
Yep.
And so that's what we went there with. Everything else about
so-
all the other pedestrian crossings has become this louder than normal white noise
Yep.
to prevent what should have been two highly risky, dangerous, deadly pedestrian crossings being repaired.
Yes.
And for it to have become something that's now too big and too heavy to save lives seems crazy. It was two pedestrian crossings that we originally did.
So, and I agree, Mel, but somewhere in the resolution being drafted and in that finer print, that wasn't included.
We looked at two.
But it was, and it was tried to put then that it would be something that needed to be across the whole region. And we said at council that it needed to be with Martinborough because it was coming from the Martinborough Community Board first. So that was said quite clearly at the meeting there. So the fact that the resolution has ended up saying that it's from across the region, but that's got nothing to do with it. That is literally got nothing to do with the fact that it should have started in Martinborough already.
It doesn't say across the region. It says that.
Well, that's what you just said. That said.
It says that. I mean, I'll send you the resolution. That might be easier.
Okay.
But it says that all the region sites will be replaced. But we will start with the ones in Martinborough, and we'll fund those separately. So they're funded separately out of reserves. That was the decision.
Yeah. So it's got funding, it's got everything. Nothing's been done.
Funded, but we only got approval to spend $200,000 out of the reserves to do that. And then when the cost of work program came back from the project manager,
Which was
it was $500,000.
But wasn't that,
And so
probably more than those two?
Yeah, that was more than two.
That was for all of the lights.
So we seem to be,
Around the square.
Project chair.
Around the square or all the lights in Martinborough? So when you look at Kitchener Street and you can see that it's got massive lighting all across, like it's pedestrian crossings and everything, but you think that that's
How would you include it?
We came to council and we got an approval from council.
for the $200,000.
On Martin Spears pedestrian crossing.
And we still do that.
Then we costed it. It came back at being $500,000.
Very full.
For all four,
Or
where we know that there's two that aren't as dangerous.
for the job that we were instructed to quote, we got a quote back, which is $500,000. At that point, we were way over our agreements. We had to go back And we approached council, we said, look, we've got to come back with revised budget here for 500,000. It no longer makes sense to take that cut of the rules because if we put this into the LGP and get it subsidised by Waka Kotahi, they will pay half of that cost and they will save the ratepayer $250,000. And that's what we
If they decline the cost, it doesn't save anybody any money. It doesn't save anybody any money. It just means the work doesn't happen. Why aren't we spending the money that is being given on the 2 pedestrian crossings?
So
because that wasn't what the money was. It wasn't approved for 2 pedestrians.
is that true?
I thought when you had a
I
lot,
was always under the impression
but that's what we
that
were.
we had itemised 2 pedestrian crossings to be done as a starting point.
Straight.
We looked at a solar light option too, didn't we?
So when I did the first lot, I suppose I haven't pulled up what my original members report was or the first report that I did to the community, the first.
So disappointing, I'm so disappointed.
That long ago. But like I said to Mel before, I think from getting, having those discussions and then going into it, getting a resolution written, that detail has dropped out, and perhaps that's a learning for later on down the track. But certainly, if we're able to, and while I'm not happy that it's been delayed, like everyone else is, and members of the community, I think if there is an opportunity for a plan B, and if there's an opportunity for.
Sorry, what's happening?
Camera's going.
The camera's going weird.
Side jinx with the camera, so don't worry about it.
Because it's doing its moving thing. Look, I mean, I think it's a situation that it's obvious we're not happy with, but it's just the way it's panned out, unfortunately. And
Can we go back and look at the minutes?
And look at it again. Do we have the minutes?
Well, Stefan, you were going to send us a copy of the resolution.
Yeah.
I'd like to see that, please. So
I just can't find it at the moment, but I will send it to you.
Okay, so my concern is we're going to be in trouble with the community.
Very digging.
And we're coming up to the, again, busy season over summer, and there'll be lots more activity on the night time. So I'd like to ask councillors and the executive, is there anything we can do to change the way it's happening?
Well, we'd need to look to the officer for that, so,
Well, I'll put it to both.
well, I was sitting, when Steph Adams was sharing the information with us, I was sitting there and asking about a plan B or, and then the plan C, the plan B. If there was a temporary measure or a temporary option to get those pedestrian crossings lit, and then the plan C to order those lights early. Like I said before, I mean, the workload for the council staff has been huge over the last 2 or 3 months, and I'm hoping that something will come through on a plan B.
Is that a definitive answer? Sorry, I'm very specific. Is there anything we can do to change the circumstance?
Because it's not.
Like I said earlier, when we discussed it at infrastructure committee, the rest of the infrastructure committee members agreed with the position from council officers, and unless a councillor has the backing from all the other majority of the councillors around the table, it's just like anything, whether it's a committee or a full council, unless one elected member has the backing of the majority of the people around that table, unless a motion is passed, moved, seconded and passed, and a direction is given to council staff to carry out a task or some investigations or some work, that cannot happen.
Through the chair, I listened to that meeting and I got from it that you were given the opportunity to come up with what was described as a creative solution. Was I not? 200,000.
That's from.
200,000. But that was not moved by the whole.
That's what I think that's what I was probably asking you about for a plan B option.
Right. But then that was not part of the resolution and then that was not accepted.
I don't think they went to a resolution of all of the committee. The information, what I was pushing and I asked for was that the whole project to be staged with, for all the work to be done on those priority pedestrian, that I consider to be priority pedestrian crossings, which everyone else considers to be priority.
Everybody.
The councillors, the committee members around the table did not agree and did not take fully take that forward.
So I think it's. Yeah.
And it's the same as.
So just one more question.
What
then.
cost a life? What cost a life?
Could we make an impassioned plea to the infrastructure committee? Is that going to serve any purpose?
No, I think it's got to be to the council.
I don't care. I'm starting with the infrastructure committee because that's where I think perhaps the support might need to come from. And council, if you go to council, you may find that there's too many people outside the involvement.
Nearly all the councillors are on the infrastructure committee.
Are they?
Yeah.
Are about to.
Yeah.
What about come and make a presentation, do a paper, do a presentation to the infrastructure committee, ask for the 2 pedestrian crossings to be prioritised with a plan B and some sort of course of action until the whole project is kicked off.
I can comment on that, but I also have found a resolution. So resolve to recommend option 1 to council to install pedestrian lighting on non-compliant pedestrian crossings in the South Warrior District, beginning with the ones in Martinborough Square and Jellicoe Venus Street corner. Pedestrian lighting at Martinborough to be funded from the Infrastructure Reserve Fund at a cost of up to 200,000 and work to commence in 2023. Pedestrian lighting in the other wards to be included in the LTP at a cost of up to 300,000 and work to commence in 2024. Council officers to produce a cost of project plan, including the findings for the investigative being done in the current square lighting project. So it was 200,000 to the market one, 300,000 to the rest of them, and the funding sources still. So that was what was resolved. So, but the answer to the question on staging. So the problem that you've got is that if we go in and do the pedestrian crossings and then go away and then come in and do the rest of the pedestrian crossings, we're doubling our costs in a lot of ways. We're making that project even more expensive for ratepayers. It doesn't make a lot of sense, and it makes more sense to go and do the whole job at once. That's practically, financially, it makes more sense to go in and do the whole job at once. And given that we are having to procure those damn lights and wait 20 weeks for them anyway, you're just about into the LTP year by the time you procure and receive the lights that have to go on with profit anyway. You've got that 20-week delay at the minimum. Anyway, so
how long ago were they ordered?
We haven't ordered them yet because we haven't got approval to run we haven't got revised the approval for the project. So the advice that we gave Hayden as he's describing is do the whole project at once, do it as early as you can in the LTP. We'll try and procure the lights as quickly as we can so that they're there ready to be part of the program.
So hang on. So why wasn't that then? Why wasn't that the resolution, Stephen? Why wasn't it said that just understand that if we're not going to do this and we're not going to do it this way, we need to order the lights now because it's still going to end up Otherwise, we're not going to have the lights in time to get started when the LTP comes.
That was the discussion about the Plan C, about coming back and getting an approval to order those lights early in the first quarter of next year.
Why
So-
not that early? Like, why not now? Why wait until next year when we already had the 200,000?
200,000 is
No,
to do this role that council has resolved to do.
But to get the lights started, is what I'm saying is that the costing for that, there was up to 200,000 that was going towards this project.
So
The lights could have been ordered.
So that 200,000 is coming out of the infrastructure reserves project. And when the pricing and the project was costed up and found that it was going to be close to 500,000, there wasn't approval to spend 500,000 out of the infrastructure reserve project.
Can I just,
500,000 would then be provided from council's roading fund and the Waka and subsidised half by Waka. So therefore, ratepayers were only going to be paying 250,000. Waka would be paying 250,000, and that original 200,000 from the infrastructure reserve fund would therefore stay in the infrastructure reserve.
I'm listening to everything. I'm still of the opinion that whether the wording is
The
right,
lights haven't even been-
but we did have a resolution to address early stages
Safety
of
concerns in Martinborough on the pedestrian crossing.
$200,000, which I believe will cover that early stages of Martinborough. So I'm going to suggest we put a resolution together because this is an unhappy situation.
just one question.
Very.
Was the solar option absolutely ruled out? Because I've got an engineer who wants to work to see if there is a compliant light with the New Zealand code for lighting on pedestrian crossings. Are we sure that there is no solar option? Because that has a big influence on how it's done. Because obviously if you've got to dig up all the roads and put wiring underground, as Stefan said, you'd want to do the whole lot at once. But if there is a solar option, it makes it quite a different project, really, doesn't it? Are we sure that there is? As I say, I've got an engineer for Rexel who keeps saying to me, if I can have the geometry of these crossings, I don't want to get involved because I've already gone down that path and have no thanks for it. But I have got one question. Are we absolutely ruling out that there is no compliant possibility of getting the compliant?
Information when the project manager came and spoke to us here at the count, I certainly asked the project manager about the solar option, and the advice from the project manager was that the solar option didn't meet the standards, didn't provide enough light across the pedestrian crossings on the road surface.
Did she provide the technical information for that, or just?
We've checked that with Waka.
Have you?
Well, and our engineer wrote that whole strong as well. So no one was attracted to it at all.
Sorry, I'm not talking about being attracted to it. I'm not talking about whether it can be compliant.
I've said that.
So you confirming it absolutely has been checked.
Yeah, it's been-
There is no light fitting available that could
Yes,
possibly
as
comply.
far as I'm aware,
So that would be another delaying process if we were to bring in that one, as opposed to what we're trying to do here.
But those other lights actually obtained for a very, very long.
It's not lights, all right, 20 weeks.
Yes. So we need to make up a resolution for this, and I'm listening to you, Aidan.
So what's 20 weeks from today's date?
20 weeks? It's half a year.
What about
Another half a year, like
5 months.
bear in mind as well that I'm trying to get this paper up to Hayden for the next ICSC committee to clear my budgets. It's at that point that I can audit. So I haven't ordered yet. So it's 20 weeks from the point that I can get my budgets pre-approved. So I've got enough money to pay for the project.
I just don't understand when there was up to $200,000 that was already available in the reserves. And then to get things started, yes, but to get things started, because you can't start without the lights, right? That's what we keep hearing.
Can't use 200,000
Well, not up 200, because I'm sure it wouldn't cost that much for all the lights.
and then not be able to finish the project when you know you can't, and then start to try and use money for analysis that hasn't been confirmed. We just can't operate that way.
It seems crazy to me.
count,
That's part of
these
it.
other councils around about that have
Absolutely.
that have really mucked up their funding for different projects by obtaining funds from one source, and then they've divided those funds up and divvied them up between different projects all across the country, all across their
But
city.
that's not the,
No, and they haven't been able to account for it. So that's what Stephen's talking about, because the 200,000 was earmarked from the Infrastructure Reserve Fund originally, but because, like I said before, because the cost has increased over and above what was approved, that 200,000 from the Infrastructure Reserve Fund cannot be used to go and purchase the lights then that are going to be funded and installed using another fund. Is that correct, Stephen?
Yeah, if you look at it, I know this is an unsatisfactory situation. I understand the frustration.
someone might die.
And I share the frustration, but the outcome here will be that we do all of the Martinborough pedestrian crossings as we need to do, bring them up to standard. It costs 500,000, but the ratepayer only pays 250.
Yes, but you keep saying we do them as we need to, but we know that the need's been there for over a year, over a year now. I'm not quite sure what you mean by as we need to, like when we know the needs actually gone
It's been
beyond.
there for a number of years, but it's been approved budget for the last year.
Ask how much has been in budget for a whole year.
I just this.
Sorry, it's just, it's so disappointing and it just feels like it.
Stefan, what about the community board bring a you perhaps I don't know whether can a community board bring a member's paper to the infrastructure committee?
Well, you're the chair of the infrastructure. And you
can decide.
Yeah, we had this conversation. It was pretty clear to me that the reasoning that was being put forward on cost efficiency.
Yep.
One day. So if you want to advise them to put some sort of paper to your committee, that's
Can I?
perfectly fine.
That's fine. I've got a better idea, and I think that you should come and present to the full council. Okay, the next council meeting, the Martinborough Community Board, there's a space there where the community board can come and speak anyway about what's going on in the communities. And so I think that you need to come and present about this and about the disappointment, not just at this table, but we know through the community about this. And the fact that, you know, we thought it was moving forward, and then
I think that's what's
that's the. I think please come and present. Love to see you.
Yeah.
So look, what we'll do is make a resolution. I think we'll make a resolution to prepare a paper to present to full council.
Yep, next council meeting.
And it'll be the full community board that addresses that meeting.
Yes.
And I think part of that disappointment will be the fact that we're all of the understanding, and I bow to everybody's knowledge about the actualities now as written, but our understanding was there was an approval last year to start working on Martinborough's pedestrian crossings. And I can understand that there could have been cost-effective changes, but if you have somebody die, cost means nothing. And so what we've got to do is say, this is a serious situation. I have experienced it myself more than once, that I nearly got run over on these crossings out here. And I think it's a situation that really grates with people. So our solution is going to be, we're going to make a resolution to present a paper to the next council from the community board with a main of saying, why don't we go back to the original understanding that we had that 2 crossings were going to get done.
Okay.
And that's what we're going to do. So does everybody understand that? Does everybody vote on that? Yeah. So we're going to vote. So everybody aye?
Aye.
Anybody against? Okay.
Somebody.
Sorry, are you going to say something?
I should vote.
But she's
I'm just saying aye.
saying aye.
It's put
Say aye.
Yeah, it's Anne's moved it.
Yeah.
I'll second it.
Yeah.
So look, we're getting to a crunch time. So we'll move on from this one.
Please.
Last topic I've got is really just a reminder to everybody that we want to build a report for the end of the year on our activities this year and what we've got going forward. So I'd like everybody to start thinking about their contribution to such a report, what they think has happened, what they think should be happening, what we want to get done next year. And look, we'll try and get some draft of that for the.
Come on, Storm, let's see the summer as the summer of completion.
Good idea. Okay, so that's what we'll do. So
That's for the next meeting, is that what we're saying?
we'll just get some things together, some ideas together that we're gonna have a look, and we'll probably do a part of that in our pre-meeting
And
discussion.
let's, and, okay, isn't it? Okay.
We have to go through these other things.
Meeting, let's go.
Look, we're under time constraint. That's what I'm just.
Yeah. So we've just got the financial.
So
I don't understand. A minute, come on.
can I ask people to somebody to move the receipt of the income and expenditure report?
Yeah, I'm with it.
Second it.
Yeah, second.
Okay, do we have any comment on that?
No, I think we've already covered the pay farm ones.
That's the most important one.
Just one really quick question. Members, we're all tired, aren't we? Members' salaries, original commitment 28,000, spent to date 37,000.
This mystery person getting all the money.
Why do we go over with members'
We've gone over
salaries?
$9,000.
I don't understand why we can.
Why $9,000 over the budget?
Do you know why?
I know. Through you, Chair, I would need to get clarification.
Yeah, well, it just seems like it's quite a high percentage.
What would change is.
Was it? And you blame me.
Do you blame me?
Yeah, so let me get clarification.
Okay, so that's
Yeah,
a result from that. Okay.
Yeah.
So the question from that is to find out what.
Yeah, perfect. Cool.
Nikki's going to have a look at that.
Perfect.
I think I can.
Right, do we want to do so we've got the expenditure, do we want to do the financial assistance report?
Sorry, I had one more question. Sorry. Martinborough, is it JAB? Is that the junior rugby people? Why is the money not spent yet? And how long do we leave it before?
Yeah, so potentially, through your Chair, that may, if they're GST registered, they may not have submitted an invoice. Or there may have been some issues in not getting bank account details, or they may have returned the funds for grants. So I can find that up.
Just find out. So
But,
sat there for a while. It's a year. Yeah.
Thank you, Nikki.
It's a year since they got it.
Is that all the questions on the
Yeah.
expenditure? Okay, so now we'll move to the
Been over a year.
financial assistance report. Do you have any questions on that? I take it that's a no, so do we need to?
to receive the financial assistance.
Okay, so can we have somebody to move to receive the financial assistance?
Yeah.
report?
Oh, no.
Everybody put your hands up.
I'll second it.
Okay, thank you. So the next one is these
The
approvals, the grants.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do we have any issues, just starting off, do we have any issues with the grants that are there? Does anybody have an issue with them?
Issues.
What do you mean an issue?
Well, you can see what they are, the values that.
It's also the tree committee that needs to be added on to those tree. Sorry, but anyway.
Okay, Storm, actually, I do have a statement that I would like to make, and that is I also share the disappointment of our the museum trust that the funding, the $2,000 a year given to them by council, well, them as well as the other three, sorry, but that's just been cut and it's been thrown, come over this way. Okay, but did we get all the money from council that they were referring through to us to come and ask for money? Does that make sense?
I take on board, I'm staggered we haven't done this at a council level. It should be part of the whole infrastructure.
Yeah.
So
like the libraries, I mean, I think we just need to make sure, that those things that are key to our community, they keep asking, what does the community need? What does it want? Well, it wants libraries and it wants its museums and the places that make and retain all of our three towns special. And so how the small amounts that really they're asking for council that was available in those community ones and that they were declined because that's what it was. It hurt them. It hurt the community patrol.
So many demands.
Who's got any money?
look, I take your point. I'm not sure what we can do about it other than.
I just wanted to make the statement.
Wanted to make a statement.
Yeah, so I take your statement and I mean, one of that would, but what we've got to do is decide upon these
I just want you to know as well that it actually hasn't come to full council.
It hasn't.
I haven't seen that. That went to the
Yeah.
finance committee.
So through you, Chair, there is a community and youth grant that goes to the finance committee. This year we received 389K worth of grants for 120 pool funds. And that is one of the reasons why we have seen some of the more ward-based applications referred. In saying that though, I've noted, Mel, your concerns there.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mel. So when we go back to these, do we want to approve these?
Well, can I just clarify on page 12 at the bottom, it's got total grants available, $1,916.
Thank you.
And then we've got the total community development funds of $23,000. And then you've set off what we spent today as well on that little sheet.
So through you, Chair, in that, you've got the
Page 21.
effectively last financial year.
Yeah.
Which includes some remaining funds.
Yeah.
So there may be some additional funds coming through to 2023, 2024 from those remaining funds, although I cannot clarify that with confidence at this stage, but that should give you a bit of an indication of what could effectively pull through. What I have given,
Page 21.
yeah, thank you. So
Yeah.
and page 21 is what has been approved through the annual plan for your budgets this financial year, 2023 to 2024, which is a grants funding budget of 4,700 per annum and a community development budget of 11,500 per annum, which is the same across the community boards. And I've also noted the resolutions that have taken place since the start of the financial year related to those funding pools.
So how much do we have left in each?
Yeah.
So
1,916 plus 4,700 minus 900. Is that what we're saying?
Yeah, 4,700. So there's 38 in that one, and then the other.
Yeah.
6
2,900 nodes in those.
plus 4,700 and less 900.
So how come
29.
3,000 available on the other?
Hang on. So it's the community development budget. How much do we have left?
We had 23,000.
No, here. So it says 11,500 PA
Taking off
per
2,000.
annum, and then we take that off.
It's
So
not-
2,000. So that's what we've got left in there.
If I count, if this numbers, if your numbers are right, then that's what it should be.
So 995 and
When is it that?
8.
Yeah,
Because
that figure plus that figure.
Nice, you've got,
Well, that's like the end of last
23,
year. And we've been
23
given that much
289.
1,000's gone to the treasury.
see, this is.
500's gone.
Oh my God.
but did you, you've also read a responsible for that, so just.
Where we at?
If we've got $23,289.57 in our
Yeah.
community development fund,
Oh, because do you add on the new year one, the 11.5 and take off the 2?
So through you,
Does not make 20.
Having a look.
It's our balance last
so you've
year.
also agreed in principle.
That's our new bit each year.
So how come?
Hang on.
So you've got, so money has gone out, but there's also been some agreement in principle. So I have noted that down if you reserve that.
Got that. And then we take off that.
And also remember you resolved earlier.
Closing balances.
That's what's
How much do we have?
6,500 for community development.
So we had 13 and take that off.
sorry, guys, I can't hear. I'm
Community development, 6,000 left.
Because you've also got the commitment, which hasn't gone out yet.
So,
Because
For the sign and.
oh, right.
give it to
1 minute, please, Paula.
Oh my God, look at my perfect paper. Brilliant numbers on it.
Well, that's my
Remember the right one.
I got lost when I looked at it.
I might say something, somebody goes, no. You've got 23 plus 15, is that right?
1,000. It's 3,000.
What have you got?
It's 500.
And that's 2 separate funds.
So,
yeah, it looks like we've got.
Okay,
yeah, it's about 7,400.
Yeah.
but it's not clear to me whether these all have to come out of grants or
It
can
should
they come out of community development?
I'm
Okay.
sorry, I'm really confused.
So finance have given me an update. Your remaining funds currently in community development are happened, but you have also agreed in principle. For, yeah, the Biddle's cutting.
It was cutting.
Yeah.
The sign.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you've currently got 3,800 in your grants.
Yeah,
Yeah.
after those
And
two
you
amounts.
just also agreed earlier for the grants to put us to hold 2,000.
Christmas.
So you've got 1,800 remaining in grants.
So what's the total community development funds available? Sorry, total community development funds available 23,289?
That's your closing.
We don't have that available.
No, sorry, I'm talking about what you've got available for this financial year.
And then you've got the carried forward.
And then the potentially, yeah,
We'll have that.
so from your previous financial year,
You add those back.
yeah,
But you
some
don't-
additional
that's-
funds,
But
but
that's no exact change.
cannot confirm them. So
But you're thinking it could be 14,000?
Well, 13 was carried over from the previous year and was confirmed, so we know that that was there.
Yeah.
So let's just
So
use that.
13,000 plus 10,000 is 23,000.
the other thing that we have done for the Māori Standing Committee and for Greytown Community Board is if there was a larger fund, we have agreed in principle based upon our assumption of the potential funds coming through. And that grant, I have notified the people about it, but the official documentation and the processing won't go through until you've actually seen your new budget for 2023-2024.
So where it's got, did you say the total amount on the grant income is $3,800? What do we have tonight? What do we?
Yeah, no.
Numbers.
It was 4,700 and we took off 9, so that's 3,800.
Yeah, and we're not doing the opening balances
We're not doing the opening balances.
because that's not very.
And it's from the grant funding that we have to hold the 2,000 for
Christmas parade.
the Christmas parade. We can't hold it from the community development budget.
So
So,
And we
so
can,
that's why that holds at
1,800,
1,800.
but they're down the
Okay, so $1,800 is
I
what
know, I'm
we've
lost
got
again.
away. Sorry, it's $1,800 what we've got tonight.
That's from the grant funding.
That's on the grant funding budget, and then on the community development budget, we have the 10, sorry, what was it? The 9.5, that was the, plus we've got that additional 13.5.
So can we please then, sorry, do we need to make a resolution for $2,000 to be put aside
3,000 federal crossing.
for Medcap? I mean, not for them for the parade?
what?
We need to make a resolution about putting $2,000 aside.
We did.
We
Yes,
did.
you did.
Yes.
2,000, now 2,000.
And that's just on hold in case we don't get the money.
It's only on hold.
Yeah, okay, cool. Want to make sure
So we
we've
can
got,
release it once we know.
So from the community development budget, we've got 9.5 minus the 3,000 we've got held
No.
as well crossing.
The Bidwell cutting sign,
Cutting.
the 3,000 for that, that's on hold.
That takes it down to 6.5.
6.5.
And then the potential is we've got 13,000 carried through.
Yeah, so we've got, so instead, so, yeah, we've got 13.5,
We've got 15, we've got
13 and,
20 grand roughly.
yeah,
We've got 20
That's
grand.
20 grand there.
Okay, so having thought that through,
Oh my God, that's.
So just say no.
Why is it so confusing?
so having thought that through,
Why is it so confusing?
do we?
Everything.
Don't, I've been in a workshop.
Do we
do we
deny that
we do.
Do we tentatively agree with the grants that we've got there? That's for the 4-wheel drive club, the community patrol and the museum.
I just don't understand about the 4-wheel drive club because it says that they're asking Greytown.
I think everybody-
they're asking Featherston as well.
Just as well? Just as
And
well.
Featherston, they're asking everybody.
everybody because it affects the district.
I think they've got heaps of money.
Why?
They have got a lot of money.
Hang
That was
on,
one of the
if it's
things.
affecting the district and it's not actually based in any ward, Why has it come to us?
Because it was sent.
Being told that.
Now, I think it's in our ward, the
It's happening in our ward. It's happening in
But
Purana.
they went to Baytown and they've had to go to the community boards when we've been told that the grants went around what happens in the district and not what happens in the wards. So I'm confused.
Yeah, through you, Chair, it came through recently. It's a new grant.
It's
Oh,
probably
so this is the one that went through to the. It's
I've known that we grant them functional roles.
500 sounds.
sounds like a good one.
To the
I
one,
think it's a good place to start.
Okay, what about the other two?
hang on, would you, hang on.
But we have to pass the resolution.
Have a mover and a second.
From wherever.
Would you like it from the grants or from the community development fund?
I would say from the grants.
I can't remember.
It's more
Difference.
appropriate.
Yeah, absolutely, that's.
that's a grant.
What's the grant?
Grant,
There you go.
So can we have a mover and a seconder for the 500? Got a mover, got a seconder?
I'll second it.
Everybody in agree?
Aye.
Okay, so that would tick that one off.
Okay.
Moving down the track,
Yeah.
community patrol. Now, I think we're picking up slack from the council here, but
So
that's,
do I.
that's beyond the pale. We can't discuss that. Do we wish to see them carry forward with this?
So when it says community and youth fund is what they've applied for, is that our community development budget?
No, so through you, Chair, that is the 120K that used to be 2 grant pools, one community and one youth. And then it got changed 2 years ago, was it? Or this,
No idea.
about, yeah, 2 years ago to be
No.
one fund, which was community and youth. And then it got reduced again this year.
Yeah.
It's just because we must have a page missing because it says number 2, they've ticked community and youth fund, but I haven't got anything else to say past the community board. It's just a page missing now. It's the original one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. I mean, I think I'd like to support the community patrol. It's
So do I.
how much have we got?
I'm not, do we have any dissent?
Listen, I think that this as well, when
This is
we're
another
looking at
fund.
these things, they have to come under, these have to come under community development.
Yes.
Because these integral sort of voluntary roles, and it just blows my mind that they haven't even been to the council only ever once before, and
No, they had oh, no, sorry, I'm thinking of museum.
yeah, no, that's right.
So look,
Did they say that they had been given advice to go to council and perhaps it was wrong advice?
So
yeah, they went to council.
we sent out notification to all MOUs, notifying them that we, MOUs, cycle of MOUs.
That's what these guys-
ending, and to reapply for the community and youth, and possibly that was some advice that they received. I'm not too sure where the.
I'll to get this moving for the community patrol, I'd move that we grant them $4,000 and then perhaps with a note to go with them and perhaps suggest to them that perhaps they approach the business association.
Or Lions?
Yeah, like that Lions might.
Lions want to help.
They want to help.
Yeah, but
They want new project.
They come to us and ask
They want
to
a
be
new
allowed
project.
to help.
Yeah.
So we shouldn't be, making a decision. on
Yeah.
So look, I take Aidan's suggestion as being a good one. So 4,000 with 1,000 suggesting they go and try this Lions or
Yeah.
somebody else.
Association.
Give them 2 sources. And if that fails, maybe we have a backup to give them another 1,000.
We'll let them come back to us and speak off the president.
yeah,
That's a good way to.
I think that's a great idea.
12,000.
Okay, so can we
I'll move that.
you move it? Second, somebody? Okay. so
Sorry,
no,
community development again, just confirming.
Yes,
sure.
community development.
Yeah.
And finally, we have the museum, which I don't think we have any problem supporting it. Do we want to again make a recommendation, pay half and
Yeah.
send them off to another direction for the other half, or is that just spirited?
Sorry, just for the museum.
they're asking for 2,000.
Yeah, so
I
we
think
said,
we should, I think under,
2,000.
I'm just saying, like we did with the
That's what I.
patrol, do we give them a bit and say, go and have a look and come back?
The other thing.
I
think they're running on volunteers.
I was just going to say, I think that
No, we've got a reasonable amount.
It's an ongoing request.
ongoing.
It's a multi-year funding.
So through you, Chair, we the council has requested that all MOUs align with the LTP. One of the issues we have with grants with MOUs is that the funding isn't necessarily guaranteed. And so we would like to align that funding with the ELT so that we know that the
LTP.
LTP, sorry,
Yeah.
it's been a long time.
One off.
So yeah, at the moment, there are no MOUs going out from council.
So this is not, this is just a one-off
Yeah.
payment.
So we
Multi-year, we-
go back instead of 2,000,
2,000 is a one-off.
one off.
Yeah.
Because we're going to different process.
And invite them to apply through the long-term plan process to re-establish their memorandum of understanding
Senate
for
Council.
3 years.
Council.
With a letter of support from the Martinborough Community.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. Does everybody, do we understand do you understand the motion?
Yes, I just confirming it is Community Development Fund again.
Yeah.
Brilliant. And I just need it moved in second.
Okay, so that seems a tidy fix. Yes?
Yep.
That's a one-off.
I feel like I've written down some other money.
Second one-off. Have we moved in second there, Martin, there?
Yeah.
Just ask, I think we have, but we have now.
It's all good.
Too many movers and too many seconders.
Two movers and groovers.
Shakers.
Take Mel as the mover and maybe.
Trumps, it's a performance.
Yeah, I definitely move and that would,
Oh, okay, so no, we're taking.
Yeah.
Oh,
Who's the seconder?
Yeah,
I'll second it.
Myself, because this, I'm trying to cut my hair off again.
That's the final grant application.
We have everything with it, we don't.
No, that's the next time.
So we're getting close to finality time.
Okay, that's all.
We need
Hang
to.
on, and we've got the Martin Tricks.
No, that's next.
Will they have to be next time now?
Oh, yeah.
The bank account, I've given it to you about 3 times.
No, because it needs to be submitted with the others for a financial assistance report, so it needs to be included, it needs to be included with the financial.
When the report comes out.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
Okay, that's all right.
yeah, oh,
There's just one missing bit on that.
We can totally defer them.
I'm gonna make a suggestion, we defer the action items. Next meeting.
Yeah.
Then bring back to the end, so do you want to have a?
I'll do it really fast. Has everyone read the members' report?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you have to accept it, move it, whatever. Yeah, it was just to say a big thanks to everybody who took part in it. It was really successful. The defibrillator has now been installed outside the ambulance station. Next 2 events, I've got 2 heartbeat workshop sessions for people who want to learn how to use the defib and some CPR that we've organised in November. So that's all booked in. You'll see some advertising
In the November.
29th and the 30th. One's in the morning and one's in the afternoon. Sessions.
Let me know and I'll put those on the book face page.
Yeah, and we'll do that. And the other thing coming out of all this is we will now have the Martinborough Resilience Project, because people like Lions and other people around town all want to continue with where we go with our resilience projects. And we've already got session booked in next year on a how to deal with psychologically with sort of events that happen, and we've got people from Hawke's Bay offering to come back and talk to us as well. So
Right.
lots of things, exciting things happening, and it's more.
Can I just make a note to that we'd like to thank you, Angela, for your work on the resilience day. That was a very good effort.
Yeah, no, it was awesome. Like, you were fantastic.
That was amazing, Angela.
So
Thank
well.
you.
The community were absolutely,
Yes.
that's what it came back down to. We had a great community, so, yeah.
So I'm gonna call the meeting to close.
Okay.
Stefan's gonna do a karaoke because he opened with one, so he's gonna finish with it.
Here, te uta kudui, kia wātea, kia mama, te nā kau, te tinana, te waira, I te ara a kātu, koia la e rongo, whakairia a ke tirunga, tūturu, whakamaua ki tina,
Tina.
Bye.
So that's a close.
Okay.
We just.
Hey, Mel.
Hang on.